Welcome back, beautiful people, to the Soul Speaks podcast, where the soul is speaking its mind. No more holding back, no more holding in. Ah, I am so excited to be back. Um, I just want to get right into it. This podcast episode is about closure. How closure is a myth. How closure is exposing your codependency or the other person's codependency. Um, Closure is not real. Closure is just opening up that cycle that you were trying so hard to close. Um, you believe that there will be better communication. You will believe that you will get answers, but nothing will actually come from that situation. And you are just teetering and tottering and not following your intuition. You are being very indecisive about what you truly want, and you're being indecisive regarding the messages that the universe and God and your ancestors and spirit guides have already given you about this person. There is nothing else that you need to hear from that particular individual. And I've been there, I've done that. I was actually the queen of that, giving people another chance after another chance to possibly explain themselves or possibly um I just heard in my head it's Mariah the scientist aura what she said. What did she say? um Hold on, I'm gonna look it up really fast because she said something like, oh, hopefully you get it together, like, and that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen with these individuals. No. Okay, so oh my goodness, so I might as well read it. Okay, so the name of the song is called Aura from Mariah the Scientist. And she said, I guess it's better that it's over now because all of the things that you lied to me about is just too much for me to swallow now, but it's taking over, trying to take me out. Okay, so she said, I can be what you need, maybe more everything. Maybe you'll come to your senses. And that's another thing. It's like they won't come to their senses. And even if they do, you shouldn't be waiting around for them. Like, you giving them another opportunity to possibly explain or to possibly communicate is just stopping you from growing. It's stopping you from ascending. It's stopping you from healing your heart so that you can find your divine partner. You see what I mean? Because you're so open to this person that is of the past, no matter how recent it was. But you have been getting signs, synchronicities, and messages about this person, this individual, letting you know that they cannot provide the love that you deserve. They cannot provide the communication that you deserve. You cannot trust them. You don't feel safe with them. And I feel like a lot of people give the idea of closure so that they can remove the guilt that they feel for just trying to cut them off cold turkey, or trying to renew the feeling of failure. And what I mean by that is that they don't want to feel like they failed that relationship because they probably have history or they've invested so much into that person. And it's like, you didn't fail. This is a learning lesson. You did not fail. You did not receive an F. You did not receive a D. This is a learning lesson on how you treat yourself by how a person treats you, because you can't love yourself or you can't love another person without loving yourself. And you can't love somebody else without loving yourself. Like, you can't. You can't trust somebody if you don't trust yourself. You can't be kind to someone if you're not kind to yourself, because everyone is a reflection of you. And it's not a direct reflection, but it is a reflection that you need to learn from, you know? And so, no, you did not fail. No, you don't have to give this person chance after chance after chance if you already have done that and they already proven that they can't do that. You are worthy of someone who doesn't have to mess up, and you don't have to give them multiple chances. Some of these people we have been dealing with in different past lives. So they've had years and years and years of chances with you. And this was the time to break out of that karmic cycle, the karmic cycle of people pleasing, the karmic cycle of feeling guilty for removing yourself from something that's not safe, the breaking the karmic cycle of not serving someone who doesn't serve you, breaking the karmic cycle of just living in the energy of not having peace. These people didn't bring you peace. And the feeling of wanting to have closure with them is just your emotions still being attached. It's codependency towards that person and how they used to make you feel and the history there. But ultimately, there's no peace there. You're doubting the fact that you will actually have divinity in your relationships elsewhere, you know? And so that the idea of closure is just playing on guilt and sad and emotions towards that person. But in all actuality, when you think about it and follow your intuition and use your intuition in this particular aspect of your life, you will understand that a mistake is only the opportunity to learn. You will understand that you will be able to forgive yourself for allowing that person to do X, Y, and Z. You will forgive yourself for not having the confidence to end certain things immediately. You'll be able to introspect why you allow certain things. Um, I had to look up the meaning of closure because we know what it means, but we also don't know what it means. So I had to look it up. And so I have a couple of different definitions. Um, Closure, an act of closing something or being closed. Okay, that's one. A comforting or satisfying sense of finality. And then from very well mind. So I found that very interesting because they talk about a lot of mental health on this website. So very well mind. Having a sense of understanding, peace, and accepted finality of the relationship, whether it ended because of loss, rejection, or growing apart. And I love that one because when you understand that it wasn't peace in that relationship, you're able to have peace within yourself. Like you'll be able to be like, okay, I understand that the reason why I want closure or more communication is because emotionally that was a lot for me. I poured a lot into them emotionally, mentally, physically, and uh, I just want to feel a void. I want to fill a void, and maybe they'll come to their senses and say something that'll fill that, that'll change their mind, that show me that they're changed. And even if they do change, they're going to change once you actually remove yourself. And that's hard to say, but I'm going through that right now. Once you actually remove yourself, remove your energy, you will understand that's how they change, for better or worse. So maybe you are going through the divorce, or maybe you're just understanding that that's not your life partner. It's having a sense of understanding, peace, and accept it. Like you have to accept that once again, you did not fail. This is a learning lesson. Because how are you going to find your divine partner if you haven't experienced certain things that help you grow? And yes, not every lesson needs to be painful. And honestly, I wish every lesson wasn't painful. But sometimes we have to go through that. We have to crack a little bit. We have to go through the storm a little bit because after the storm is where the flowers bloom. That's another song. That's Kali Uchis and Tyler the Creator. That's a beautiful song. I love that song. Um, that I feel like that is very important for us right now because we are in Cancer season and we're moving into Leo. And so that idea, just having that idea that with the last podcast I said, we're processing our emotions with sinking and swimming. We cannot drown in our emotions. So a lot of things are being arisen right now. A lot of us want to be emotional, and a lot of us want to express our emotions to people of the past, even if it's recent past, or express our emotions to people that we know we need to let go of. And I want to just say closure is not a thing. I've been the type of person that'll text people after months just saying, hey, well, what happened? And why did this happen? Or why did you feel this way? And, those people move on. Um, and probably not in a divine way. Like God didn't tell them to move on. You know what I mean? They're just, living their life, being the darker spirit that they are. But it's the light in me is trying to see if they change, is trying to see if they actually love me, if they actually cared, if they're actually going to say something that will fill the void of my pain. And I just want to tell you that you have to feel that void in your heart. You have to understand that when you did cut them off cold turkey and you had to deal with that guilt and you had to deal with the fact that you gave them so much love and you were a divine service to them, they were supposed to handle you delicately, and they didn't. And some people prey on the fact that you continue to give them chances, that you continue to give them the opportunity to give you answers that they don't have and probably will never have because they haven't grown into that consciousness yet. This song, well, this podcast was channeled by a song, Closure by Chris Brown. Now, I want to read the lyrics from that because, I've been playing that real heavy, and it was just interesting to me how, like, the chorus was saying one thing, but his actual verses were saying another thing. So, chorus is like, fuck your closure. I don't need your closure. And it's very direct. And I feel like that that's what we need to be. So if somebody is coming, and I feel like the energy of that, like people are going to be coming back that have proven themselves unworthy of being in your presence. And I'm just going to say it like that. They're going to be coming back. Oh, I miss you. I love you. I miss what we used to do and the good times and blah, blah, blah. Fuck your closure. Because I'm pretty sure you have given them multiple opportunities to make a decision about what they're going to do. Uh, actually step up, and be the partner that you desire them to be or the potential that you see them to be. Okay, so fuck your closure. I don't need closure. um you really think I need your closure? Like Chris Brown was hilarious in this, and it's Chris Brown and her, um which is it's just hilarious. So we need to find closure within ourselves and find a healthy way to um fill the void in our hearts, and even in our space. when it comes to these relationships, these karmic relationships, these karmic cycles, right? Um, he in his verse he says, confidence is even worse because there's really passion. And I feel like, that's funny because a lot of people, like, I just thought about the saying where, like, girls really glow up during a breakup. Like, after a breakup they really glow up, like their face looks better, they're doing better, they're following their passions, you know what I mean? They look better, they look healthier, they look more abundant. And that's where we need to be right now. We need to fill that void with our passions. We need to fill out that void with healthier food, healthier drinks, more sleep, exercise, you know. That's the way we heal from a relationship, is doing something for us, bettering the relationship we have with ourselves, because clearly there was a lack of self-love during that relationship when we kept people pleasing and we kept ignoring our feelings for this individual, shutting down our own confidence for this individual, or allowing them to dim our light and to quiet us during that relationship or that cycle. Um, so confidence even worse because there's really passion, doing what I always wanted, all of your doubt motivated. And remember, I brought up doubt before. And so, but that was towards ourselves. So the doubt that they also projected onto us, but also the doubt that we couldn't do better than them. That this is the only love we will ever experience, knowing that that's toxic love. And honestly, what's love got to do with it? You know what I mean? It's like, no, we release the need to know all the answers at this point when it comes to that. There is no such thing as closure. We will not get more answers from them than what we already got. Their actions are answers, their mindset is answers. That's enough to close the book. Like that's enough to close the book. Um so on the Very Well Mind website, there was advice on how to get closure. And so it says, accept that you may not receive clear answers, which I already talked about before. You're not going to. You're not. So just accept the fact that you'll have clearer answers with God, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angels, and with yourself versus them. Like we all got our own shit going on. Let's just be honest. And if they aren't in a mental capacity or in a spirit to be kind to a divine person, then they never will be. And it'll be too late when you cut your energy off from them. And like I said, if they want to come back and have closure all of a sudden, fuck your closure. Nothing will come out of that. Even if they do change, they will be changed for the next individual. Consider the larger picture, that your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels saved you from being lost, from dimming your light. They saved you. Consider the bigger picture, that there is love out here, and that's not love. Engage in forgiveness work. I mentioned that earlier. We have to forgive ourselves for allowing certain things to happen, for not following our intuition, or for not being so tapped in with our spiritual team and our divine team that we couldn't hear the messages that were being relayed. And sometimes, our divine team and spiritual team and God is waiting, so they are allowing us to go through certain things so that we can strengthen our relationship with them, you know? Because we were out in the world at one point in time, and now we're very well acknowledging our divine team and praying and journaling, you know? So there was a point in time where we were just in the world and we knew about God, but we didn't call on him for protection. We didn't call on him for guidance, you know? And rely on other sources. So once again, dive into your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. Fill the void that you want to talk to them with talking to yourself, talking to your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels, eating better, journaling, reading, sleeping. Find something that will stimulate your mind. Find something that will help you process your emotions. You know, it's important because you don't want to be the type of person begging for someone to come back and just that's fueling them to still treat you like crap. That's fueling them to never change. That's fueling them to continue to manipulate you in all ways. And you're opening that door by saying that closure will help. You're not going to get the answers that you need or deserve, and they don't have the answers. They were placed in your life to treat you like that. They were supposed to treat you better, but since they didn't follow God, they treated you like that. And so now you have to cut them off completely, energetically, physically, mentally, financially, however it is. And then you'll understand that that wasn't love in the first place, and that was a karmic relationship and a karmic cycle that you had to learn from. And then karmic board clearing, energetic clearing. Rewrite your story and live your truth. The truth is you deserve divine love. The truth is that was a lesson for you. The truth is that closure is a myth. You close it by closing it, not by reopening it. Chamber of the violet flame. Violet is also purple, which is the crown chakra, which is what I talked about. That very well mind. It starts with your mind. Start with your mind and saying, "Hey, this was the lesson I was supposed to go through, and I'm learning, and I'm going to heal from this." And I will not get clear answers from this person because they don't even have a clear mind. They don't even have clear answers for themselves. Karmic release and radical transformation. And both of these cards are purple. And then star gathering, stars align, remembering home and soul family. And Akashic records at the bottom of the deck, clearing old stories, releasing past lives, and freedom. That's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna be able to understand, have closure with yourself. And then Heart of Source just flew out. All encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, and serenity. You have to understand that there is no need to feel guilty about this, about leaving them behind, by ignoring your feelings of closure, because it's not closure that you want. It's you want them to just change all of a sudden and to treat you better, and they're not. God has given you so many signs and symbols about how they're not going to change. And it's important that you understand that you are changing for the better. You're becoming more and more divine. You have divine consciousness. God and your angels and your ancestors talk to you on a daily basis. You have a relationship with them. You have protection. So they are protecting you to let you know that you don't need to feel guilty about cutting these people off. Acceptance at the bottom of the deck. And then this is the number 41, which is 5, which is change. Radical transformation. You're changing. And this is going to change their lives too, but you're not going to be a part of it because they're going to have to deal with their shit once you remove yourself and deal with your shit. The fact that we are codependent, the fact that we feel guilty for cutting someone off, the fact that we feel guilty for not giving someone a 40th, 50th chance. The fact that all of the hard work we put into this person, it didn't work and they didn't love me. Oh, they probably did love you for your energy, for the things you did for them. How you took on most of the guilt and you took on most of the trauma, that you are a divine being, that you are full of light. Oh, they loved you for that, but they still mistreated you. They still mistreated you. And be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself, because this is not a easy thing to do. And if you have Taurus or Cancer in your chart, that look into it and see how this resonates with you. But also we're in Cancer season right now, so this is very important right now in this season. It's very important to understand the codependency of why you desire closure with someone. And I told you in the last podcast episode, Sink or Swim, that music was going to be very important, and that you shouldn't run away from the music that invokes emotion. And I told you I was going to have to do it myself. Like I listen to my podcast and I listen to the homework I give myself. You know what I mean? And that I hear from the ancestors, spirit guides, angels. Like I listen to, and I'm jamming out like songs that made me feel the songs that I was listening to heal myself, or the songs that I was listening to while I was going through my heartbreak, and the feelings of failure, and the feeling of guilt, and the feeling of abandonment. Like I'm jamming out, and I'm also remembering like where I was then and where I am now, and how I have grown so much mentally, physically, and it's still invoking a little emotion, but I'm not crying. I'm just thinking back to where I was and being grateful for it, and understanding that I was not at a place of peace, and that I've clearly followed my intuition. And if I'm in a place now where I can listen to that and say, wow, I'm not in that space anymore. Music is going to be very important. Very important. Very important. These people have not renewed themselves. These people are doing the same things over and over, and they are blocking the miracles that you deserve in your life. I'm going to wrap this up. Honestly, we're trying to stay away from the hate. And nothing, there's still secrets out there, but they're not secrets that you need to know. God will let you know what you need to know, but all he's doing is letting you know that there's no such thing as closure. To close that is to completely distance yourself. There is no talking about it, because even if you send a text and saying, hey, I need space, or I don't feel like you're treating me well, blah, 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 this, then there's going to be energetic back and forth communication. No, no, thank you. Remove yourself and heal yourself, because it's not about them, it's about you, so that you can be better for the collective. Ace of Swords. So that you can be better for the collective. You need to focus on your healing, because you've been focusing on trying to heal someone else and trying to be there for someone else, and you have totally abandoned yourself, which is why you feel codependent on this person. Yeah, the Six of Cups in reverse. Like, this was not somebody that you can love. And this is actually, like I said before, somebody probably from a past life that you have forgiven over and over and over again. And now in this lifetime, you will be forgiving yourself. And you will accept the fact that they weren't able to give you the foundation that you deserved. And you will also learn that continuing to look back and give yourself quote unquote closure is just keeping you stuck in their energetic field. They're not working on trying to better themselves, and if they do, it will be without you. And they will be able to look at everything that they have and realize that they don't have you, which is what they really truly wanted. It's not for you to convince them. It's not for you to give them that opportunity and that open arm, open door policy. That is not why you're here. Yeah, you're avoiding the chaos. Like, I'm trying to stay away from the hate. I don't need your closure. Hangman in reverse. You can see very clearly now. You can see very clearly what closure really means. And yes, the first definition was the act of closing something. You have to close it within yourself. You don't need them to do it. I promise you, you don't need them to do it, because you're just still going to be heartbroken at the fact that it didn't work. And you're not going to get the answers that you deserve. Nothing is ever going to be clear. Well, you did this and you did that, and it's a lot of tit for tat. You don't need closure. You don't need closure. So, stay hydrated, y'all. Remember, you don't need closure. You need closure with yourself. Okay? You be gentle with yourself during this time, because you're going to feel like you're not being a good person. And that you have to just, maybe I'll just give them another chance and then show me. No. This is the end of a cycle. This is the end of a karmic cycle. Two karmic cards came out. Energetic clearing, rewrite your story and live your truth. Karmic release, radical transformation. Karmic board clearing. God, your ancestors, your spirit guides, and angels are giving you the opportunity to actually live. My mentor just said in her podcast that our past isn't even really real. See, these are the things we're learning from, because we still have more years to go. We have divine people to meet. We have divine experience to experience. You know, like, the past is just something that has taught us how to be better people, how to stand in our boundaries. So don't allow anyone to put pressure on you to get answers from you, and don't expect new information from these people. Don't. Like, I fuck your closure. And I don't, hey, say that to them. Say that to them, you know? Be patient with yourself and stay hydrated and process your emotions, like I said before. It's going to be very tough. Like, I feel like I've been stumbling over my words a little bit. So that's why you need to talk to yourself. You need to talk to yourself. Talk to your ancestors and your divine team. Talk to God about it, right? But also be grateful that they have saved you from another karmic cycle with this individual. Like, staying in a karmic cycle longer than you have to. This is the time where we're going through planetary shifts. We're going through energetic shifts. The solar flares are hitting. Do you think we have time to still be dealing with darker energies that we know that aren't for us? And if you do, you have to work on your self-esteem. But if you don't think that we need to be dealing with the past darker energies, you are working on building your self-esteem when it comes to your relationships and the love for yourself, which is what God ultimately wants. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you guys soon.